accounted for. It's your show, ma'am. Enjoy.
It's 7:30, and here we are at the MarshStream Monday, or the Monday MarshStream. So this is we started on Thursday. It's our first Monday night, and if any of you know the history of the Marsh, we started at the Night Marsh, which was the Marsh back in 1989 on July 8th. So this is 30 plus years we've been doing it, and we're so glad we can keep doing it even during this shuttering. Thank you all so much for joining us. I hope you're all well. I want to talk a little bit about the Marsh Stream. So we're doing something every night at 7:30 p.m. Tonight's the Monday night. Tuesday night we have Wildcat Tuesdays, and tomorrow night we have a book chat with Barbara Lane. With guests. Daniel, who are those guests?
Those guests are, he says very slowly because he doesn't have them memorized and needs to go to the website page to get that information. Very wonderful and renowned stars of stage.
No, they're book people. So it's
Screen.
Aya De Leon,
Hollywood. I don't know who they are.
Aya De Leon, Ellen Sussman, and Vanessa Huo, I think. I might be mispronouncing her name. They'll be chatting with Barbara Lane, who's a Chronicle book columnist, a good friend, and been doing stuff around the city and whatever for a long, long time. She's wonderful. And on Wednesday, we have our first Solo Arts Heal, which is our health and solo performance night. And this first night, we have Joanna. She's going to be performing, and it's moderated by Gail Schickley. On Thursday night, we have Stephanie's MarshStream, and we're going to be hosting Josh Kornbluth and doing an interview and watching some excerpts from his performances, or he's going to be performing them.
See her.
There. And then Friday night, we're going to have another Josh Kornbluth thing. It's a big Josh Kornbluth week. We're going to be doing what we hope will work out called Bingo with Josh Kornbluth. It's game night. And then we'll have some videos on Saturday and Sunday. We also have everyday youth program for kids. So check our website to check that out, 4 p.m. On Friday, we have Candace Johnson is going to be doing Candace's Fitness Sing. So it's fitness and singing. Keep up with our website. We'll be doing lots and lots every day. And we want to hope to support our community and support our performers during this time. And we have a tip jar if you want to help us. The Marsh is, if you don't consider our youth programs, we are about 70 to 80% ticket sales. So as you can realize, none of that's happening right now. So glad you're here. And the next thing I want to do is to introduce Alexa Elmyra. She's the Monday night program director. She's been around the Marsh. She's going to tell you how many years, I don't even know, but just like a couple of days after she turned 18, she started working at the Marsh. She has done so many website, tech person, administration, and now the Monday Night Marsh. So let's give a big welcome to Alexa, who will be introducing our performers. Hey, Alexa.
Hey, thank you for that awesome introduction. So as she said, my name is Alexa, and I am the program director for Monday Night Marsh. We are super excited to have you guys here for the premiere of Monday Night MarshStream. So it's part of the Zoom series, so we'll be hosting it every Monday. Feature short pieces by different performers each night. So join us every week. So before we get started, I just want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Stephanie and our production team. They've been working super hard on not just making Monday Night MarshStream happen, but all of the other virtual shows and performances that the Marsh has made available to everybody as well. So thank you. So let's get started. So tonight we have 3 amazing performers ready to kick off the premiere. We've got Skip Goodman, Jane Gire, and the Marsh's own Steve Budd. So up first we have Skip Goodman with an excerpt from The Road Unraveled. And this piece is a perpetual work in progress, looking back, moving forward, choices, chances, fumbling through life and working things out. Skip started his solo journey at the Marsh in the mid-90s in a workshop with Charlie Varon, and he is also the creator of the world-famous I Don't Process, I Purée t-shirt. So let's give it up for Skip. Woo-hoo.
Are we ready to go? Okay. Am I going to see me or am I going to see you? So I know when it's... Okay. Forgive my scratchy throat. Here we go. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that was a huge fucking mistake. So I find myself here, all grown up with no place to go, uncomfortably present, no booze, no drugs, no cigarettes. They say people who are spiritually fit supposedly have that as a gift. Well, I don't want it. I'd like to return it for something less consuming and preferably in a different time slot. So I like to quote three people. I mean, I'm a lot to handle and I have like an intense personality. Chelsea Handler. If you have a rigorous inquiry into your own life when you're 60, you get to start all over again, but like you're 20, this time raised by you. Penny Arcade, New York performance artist. You're not neurotic, you're just overly responsive. Jeffrey Jones, my psychiatrist. Thanks to Jeff, I can be here and do this. I can tell you guys stories and jokes and you're gonna love me and I'm gonna love you. And then I come down a bit and I think, oh, you're gonna hate me. And then I hate me. And then I hate you. And then everything feels like it's back to normal again. So this is the abridged version of my rigorous inquiry. When I was 7, my grandma died. I kind of remember feeling sad. I totally remember asking my mom if I could have a pair of her shoes. Taping my toy blocks to the heels of my white sweat socks and pretending they were go-go boots totally lacked authenticity. When I was 10, I had a huge crush on Davy Jones. I had his 8x10 glossy photo taped on the wall over my bed. And every night before I went to sleep, I'd lean in and kiss him goodnight. I would turn my head so my big Jewish nose didn't bang into the wall. But when my lips touched his lips, I couldn't keep my nose from rubbing up against his. And the light oil from my adolescent acne combined with the mild friction began erasing the ink from the middle of the photo, leaving Davy with a huge gray smudge mark right in the middle of his face. In 1967, I was 11 and I was in love with The Summer of Love. I wore multiple strands of love beads, a peace sign necklace, rings on all my fingers. I had a classic blue work shirt that I bleached and tie-dyed purple, which I thought was pretty fucking fabulous. I felt I was doing a good job of expressing my innate sense of style, my flair. The kids at school, not so much. They thought it was faggy, homo faggy gay. Oh, let's just hit him. And thankfully, my teachers let me leave school 5 minutes early to get a running head start on the kids who were threatening to totally fuck up my flair. One afternoon, I got home and, well, actually, when I was 14, my mom found my stash. She came into my room and asked me to meet her in the backyard. And there, in a Marie Callender pie tin, was all my stuff. my pills, my pot, my rolling papers, my rolling machine, my roach clip, my Benson and Hedges menthol 100s, my survival kit. I stood silently and I watched as she got a can of lighter fluid, completely doused it, and then calmly lit a match and dropped it into my soggy little pile of happiness, and it burst into a ball of flames. 1 year later, my head burst into a ball of flames. September 28th, 1971, the Greek Theater, Los Angeles. I saw the Ike and Tina Turner review featuring the Ikettes, and seriously, it just fucking blew my mind. It was like my DNA had an orgasm. I needed to know how they got there and how they did that, because that was exactly where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. They worked so hard, and that freedom of expression was something that I longed for. But I was years from figuring myself out, so I never actually went there. However, I did have a very intense response here. A few nights after the show, I was home alone. Out of nowhere, I was overcome with anxiety. I got nauseous. I was dry heaving, and I started to cry. And all I could think was I wanted my mom. I didn't know what was happening to me. I couldn't explain it, and I couldn't tell anyone. But I was totally overwhelmed and felt somewhat suicidal. Suicide was always an option. A little lost. But I was, strangely, while I was feeling this way, I was perpetually pestering the owner of a clothing store to hire me as a stock boy. And he did, and that just completely changed my life. It kept me on the planet. And the job was at a clothing store called Joe Rudnick's, which was in Beverly Hills, where all the boys got their bar mitzvah suits and the girls got their bell-bottom hip-hopper landlubber jeans. The first day, they had me upstairs in the stock room, where I was confronted by a mountain of boxes that contained jock straps. Sizing jock straps was my first task as an employed teenager. I worked there for about 2 years. And one day the manager asked me to clean the truck. And I said, "It's your truck, you drive it, you fucking clean it." And he said, "You're fired." So I drove home in tears. I had no idea what I was going to do. I just knew that growing up in Southern California had infected my soul. For years, I drove around Los Angeles aimlessly looking for a life. It didn't help that I was escorting myself about town in a self-hatred green Fiat with a license frame that said, "I'm okay, you're so-so." I didn't have any self-awareness, but intuitively I knew arrivals and departures in a split pea green car was not an image booster. I was waiting for someone to realize just how fucking fabulous I was and say something like, "We have a second home with a swimming pool. We never use it. We'd love for you to have it." Never happened. When I was 18, I got a job at a summer camp. I was hired to do maintenance, cleaning bathrooms, emptying trash. It was supposed to be a 3-month commitment. I quit after 2 weeks and bought a plane ticket to go to London with some of my friends. But I panicked and I sold the ticket. Now, those are friends that I grew up with, and they were moving forward without me. While they were making plans for their future and important decisions about life, I was contemplating purchasing my first pair of platform shoes. They went off to college. I went dancing. Then I got the call from Kenny. Kenny was the guy who took care of the horses at the summer camp. He asked me if I wanted to come work in a mailroom for a new company called Casablanca Records. I'd always loved music. My father was buying me albums when I was 7. And so I'd never thought that there was even such a thing. And I said, sure. So Casablanca was located just a block off Sunset near Tower Records. And working in the music industry was perfect for me because I could wear jeans and t-shirts to work. I got free records and concert tickets, and everybody got high. So I worked for a number of different labels and met all kinds of people. Now, there's nothing worse than a name dropper, and I know because I am one, and I committed to not doing that tonight, except maybe 2. David Bowie and Ethel Merman in her bra. Time moved on, years went by, and thankfully I found my way to San Francisco. I have lived in my apartment for 35 years. I have been looking into the same bathroom mirror for those 35 years, and I did not see this coming. I had hoped as I got older that I'd get handsomer. James Brolin handsome, Harrison Ford handsome, and instead there's this Woody Allen, Alan Dershowitz thing going on. So I'm making a great effort to live from the inside out. I continue to learn that staying emotionally and physically fit is an ongoing battle. I gladly take the prescriptions for my depression, my high blood pressure. I have willingly moved on from acid to Centrum Silver. I accept the fact that I'm a type A personality trapped in a type D body. I want to do everything. I just never get around to it. And my favorite thing to do is lay on the couch and wonder what happened. Worse is I'm a people person who hates people, and that makes my life very hard. And people will say, well, you know, it's not all about you. And the reason they say that is because they think it's all about them. Who has time for that? So 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and this has led me here. And here is actually pretty good. Thanks. And I'm out.
Thank you, Skip. That was a very, very honest piece. I really like. Well, I've seen this piece before on Monday night, so I'm very happy to have you back on here.
Thank you.
So up next, we have Jane Gire with a piece I'm sure many of us will be able to relate to. It's called Marriage in the Time of Corona. Could grocery shopping really get any worse? Now it literally could be the death of us. Hear and see your old pal Jane hopefully provide some comedic relief, or at least a distraction on how she and hubby Lincoln are coping with quarantining. Let's give it up for Jane.
Well, I want to start with a short disclaimer. While I was working on this piece, I've been working on it for about a week. I was trying to be funny, maybe meaningful, but really trying to provide a distraction from the crazy shit that's going on. And I'm not really sure I've accomplished either of those tasks. So bear with me. But one of the things that I found that was really kind of surprising and shocking is while I was typing the evites frantically yesterday and typing in the names of all the people that I invited, There was like 90 people on the list. I actually got verklempt and teared up and actually had moments of, you know, that place where grief kind of takes you over, where you cry a little bit. And I thought that was, I don't know, meaningful for me. And I think that's what this virus has really helped a lot of people with is, and we all have it in our own way, is just taking account of those little things and the big things of those friends and the people that you've loved for a long time or a short time. But it really got me seeing your names. And so thank you so much for coming and for your support. And let me try to provide a little distraction. Ah! 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 Glasses! Glasses! Ah! Wine! Ah! 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 Jane! Jane! That's my husband, Lincoln. Jane, wake up! You're having another nightmare. Ah! Glasses! Wine! Glasses! Jane, wake up! Wake up! You're okay! You're okay! Jane, what was that dream about? What was wrong? I actually had a dream the other night that my husband was loading the dishwasher wrong. It wasn't a dream about death or dying or anything like that. It was a dream about the fucking dishwasher being loaded wrong. He was putting our 2 remaining matching wine glasses in the dishwasher. This is not how we operate. We don't put our wine glasses in the dishwasher. It completely woke me up with like sweating. Okay, I have night sweats anyway, but I was sweating and I walked into the kitchen. I literally walked into the kitchen thinking, oh shit, I gotta save the wine glasses. So you know that this shit isn't working out too well when I'm fucking having a nightmare about goddamn dishwasher being loaded. Strange dream though. What do you think those 2 remaining matching wine glasses meant? Jane and Lincoln? Fragile containers for alcohol? Shoved into a appliance that sterilizes things? Shelter in place. You know, I'm typically a person, I think, that's, you know, kind of glass is half full. Lincoln's glass half empty. I'm half full. But I got to tell you, it's really fucking hard to be glass half full when you don't have hardly any gin left and you just use your last fucking line. This is tricky business. This is all new stuff. New things have been, it's just odd. Everything's odd. Nothing makes sense. I mean, who would think that going to the grocery store could possibly be any shittier than it already was? I hate the fucking grocery store. And I know there's people who go to like 15 fucking grocery stores to get all their fucking savings. I go to one grocery store and get my shit over with because I hate fucking going to the grocery store. And now when I go to the grocery store, I could cause someone else to die, or I could come back and die or make Lincoln die from going to get some fucking organic, free range, non-genetically engineered chicken. Very strange times. more strange things are happening all around me. You know, I haven't masturbated in 33 days, ever since we've been in the quarantine. And it's not because I'm Catholic and it's a Lenten obligation, or I have some deep-rooted intentionality to sacrifice something for first responders or medical workers or my poor little postal guy. No, I'm not in the fucking mood. I'm not in the mood to rub one off right now. I'm not. I mean, it's like there's too much random odd shit that comes to my mind while I'm trying to have a focused imagination. I actually tried the other day. I tried. I fantasizing about female tennis players or garbage men with utility kilts. None of it worked. I couldn't get there. I gave up trying. 33 days. But you know, it's like all the images that are coming in my head are just crazy and oddly, they're all over the place. This is a very odd time. It's like I'm worried that I'm going to have income in June. Opening day baseball didn't happen. Burning Man got canceled. And there's like people who are getting sick all over the place. Hundreds of thousands of people. Hundreds of thousands of body bags and shit. It's like, and I'm worried about my fucking stemware. So I think it's okay that this masturbation thing has stalled out, this joy moment. Because it's okay. It's okay. I think it's okay. I've been wondering about the state of marriage through this whole thing. How much impact is going to have on us with all this togetherness? I work from home. I've worked from home for 8 years now, ever since those fuckers at AAA laid me off. Oh, sorry, that's a different story. But yeah, I've worked from home for a long time. I have a pattern, a method. I go through my day. And now Lincoln, my beloved husband, has, thankfully decided to stay home and not go into a studio every day because it's kind of dark and depressing and lonely and quiet there. And I'm here. Who wouldn't want to be with this? So he stays home with me. And I got to tell you, the working from home thing is kind of all fucked up now. I mean, it's not just me and my schedule for the day. Now I have to care and be considerate and compassionate for someone else's calendar or needs. I mean, it's very challenging for me. That glass half full thing, very challenged. But I think we've been working some things out. We've managed to figure out some compromises, and we're communicating more and coordinating, So I think there's some things that aren't quite there yet, but we're getting there. Hey, Jane, what's the deal with today? When are we going to work out? And are we going to go for a bike ride? Are we going to go for a walk? Are we going to do yoga? I mean, what are we doing today? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I asked you what you wanted to do. What would you like to do today? I don't know. I don't care. You decide today and I'll decide tomorrow. I don't care. Okay. So what do you want to do? What do you want to do? I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do anything. Oh, okay. Well, before we don't do anything, why don't we have a cocktail? For those of you who know me, I've been really striving to try and change my patterns, my health patterns. I've been working on losing weight. Not a great time, this shit in place thing to lose weight. Reduce the amount of alcohol I drink. It's kind of odd, but I've actually stopped drinking beer. So I've stopped drinking beer for 33 days and I've stopped masturbating for 33 days. I mean, that's kind of odd. That's strange. It's like no opening day kind of thing. But the problem is I've substituted the beer for a cocktail. So I was doing really well. I lost 7 pounds by the early part of February. I've gained half of that back. I know it's hard to tell, but I gained half of it back. And then I got the cocktail every night at about 6:05, the gin and tonic. Compromise, right? Compromise. Yeah. Oh, we have figured out a couple compromises through good communication. And these are things that might last through the whole, after. There's BC, before Corona, and AC, after Corona. So after Corona, I know from talking to Lincoln that he doesn't appreciate me farting while we're making dinner at night in the kitchen. So there's that. I learned that. So I'm not going to fart in the kitchen while we're making dinner. He didn't say anything about lunch or breakfast, but I'm not going to do that. And he said that he was going to try not to, when he urinates and he shakes his penis and the dribbles go on the bathroom floor, he said he's going to try not to do that. So there's that. I mean, so that's a little more positive compromise. We got that going. And the other thing we both are doing is we got some feedback that it wasn't really appropriate to use accents anymore. It wasn't funny. And so we've decided not to use accents at home while we're doing the Jane and Lincoln playtime stuff. So we've decided, especially in the afternoon when we have tea, we don't use an English accent anymore when we talk about the tea. We don't do it. And it actually is very hard. I don't know about you guys, when you're drinking tea, but it is quite challenging. And one of the things that is very difficult, or maybe even sad, is it's so different to say, would you like a biscuit with your Earl Grey tea? That's nice. A biscuit, that's nice, right? A biscuit. And now I got to say, you want a cookie with your tea? Right? Biscuit, cookie. Yeah. But see, we're working on some stuff together. We're doing this together. Compromise, communication, coordination. It's working. Sort of. I kind of noticed that he doesn't really appreciate some of my advice, my tips, best practices. Maybe it's the timing of when I offer the tip. Maybe it's the deliver, how, the all in the how, he referred to them as quit being so fucking bitchy, so there's that. So I've decided, I'll focus on that, it's instead of, maybe when you vacuum, Lincoln, how about vacuuming the whole fucking house instead of just the sunroom, right? So fucking vacuum the whole house. So instead, I could say something like, hey, there's other rooms. Have you thought about those? Maybe fitting them in, maybe. And I don't really understand how he sorts laundry. Not how I learned to sort laundry, but yeah, we're learning. We're shelter in place. I do think he could improve the way that he zests lemons. I think he's got some kind of problem with lemons. I think it's like it's a piece of fruit. It needs to be handled gently. You don't have to rub it back and forth on the grater to get the fucking lemon zest. You just do a gentle wipe, a gentle press, and there's the zest. You don't have to manipulate and mutilate the poor fucking lemon. There's that. I might want to work on the delivery. Little. I got the sense that sometimes he doesn't even look like he's in the same room with me when I'm giving him this advice. And it came to me last week after poor John Prine died. I listened to a lot of John Prine music. Weeping. Anyway, we're listening to John Prine music, and there's a song that reminds me, not the whole song because it's kind of a dark song, but there's a song called On the Other Side of Town. And I actually think maybe this is something that's going on in Lincoln's head. So I'll just sing a short little bit, and then I promise to wrap up shortly. I need to cheat and look at the lyrics. A clown puts his makeup on upside down, so he wears a smile even when he wears a frown. You might think I'm here when you put me down, but actually I'm on the other side of town. My body's in this room with you just catching hell, while my soul is drinking beer down the road a spell. You might think I'm listening to your grocery list, when actually I'm leaning on a jukebox about halfway there. A clown puts his makeup on upside down, so he wears a smile even when he wears a frown. You might think I'm here when you put me down, but actually I'm on the other side of town. I'm way down on the other side of town. So one last thing I wanted to share. He's left the room, so I feel compelled to let everyone know. I understand, and I am keenly aware that I am using more of the precious resource in our house than Lincoln. The toilet paper thing. The thing is, I'm female. I got different parts. We actually wipe our urethra and our anus when we evacuate waste. Men only do the other side. And so that means I'm using 2/3 as much toilet paper as he is. So when this whole thing started shit hitting the fan, literally, I couldn't get any toilet paper. So I actually clicked on an ad, which I don't recommend. I clicked on an ad on Facebook, and it took me to this beautiful website, Surlyn. And Surlyn had this paper that was sustainably grown from bamboo. Very eco-groovy, very, very nice paper for your butt. And I ordered it because the shipping was free if you ordered 30 rolls. So I have 30 rolls of toilet paper in transit to me. I went through and I clicked through the whole thing, and it worked out really well. And then you get to the final screen where it updates you on when you can expect your package. When do you get your butt wipe? I get my butt wipe in about 2 weeks, so it took like 7 weeks for this stuff to process. And my eco-groovy, sustainably grown toilet paper is coming from China. Kind of ruins the whole eco-groovy thing about the butt wipe. So I gotta say, I'm a little tiny bit concerned. What happens when the toilet paper runs out? I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be the one that used most of it. Is he gonna snap? So, seriously? If I end up, don't think it was because of an unfortunate incident at the grocery store. It probably has something to do with broken wine glasses and a toilet paper roll stuffed in a wrong place. There you go. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, Jane. That was another very honest piece. And I know a lot of people definitely could relate to a bunch of aspects too, not just one. Definitely made me want to crave a beer. Sorry that you can't have one, but I want one now.
Gin and tonic.
You got your gin and tonic. There you go.
With lemon.
With lemon. Thank you so much, Jane. Now we'd like to welcome Steve Budd to the virtual stage with a Marsh favorite called What They Said About Love. Steve Budd wonders why other people can and can't tie the knot, that is. So he asked couples about the push and pull of love. What keeps them from pulling apart despite annoying the heck out of each other? Steve is an actor, writer, comic, and solo performer who's performed all over the Bay Area, as well as in LA, NYC, Boston, Ottawa, Tel Aviv, and London. Take it away, Steve.
All right, good to be here. I'm still seeing Elmyra. There she is. It's a few years ago, and I'm on vacation in Oaxaca, Mexico. It's a 50th birthday present to myself. I hadn't been abroad for like 10 years. I kept putting it off, waiting until I had a serious girlfriend to go with me. Finally, I'm like, fuck it. I'm 50. I'm taking myself to Oaxaca. And a friend of mine tells me to look up this woman he knows who's spending some time there. A blind date? Really? All right. She shows up at the Airbnb I'm renting, this beautiful, bright, bubbly 32-year-old Black woman. Did I mention she's Kenyan? She's Kenyan. Her name's Chinua. She's got on this short, sexy turquoise dress with sandals that lace above the ankles, gladiator style. We tour the cathedral, eat street food, and stroll through the outdoor market. That hat looks so handsome on you, Steve. You have to buy it. Yes! She claps her hands like that when anything cracks her up or delights her. There's never a lull in the conversation. So what brings you to Oaxaca? I'm studying Spanish and I'm a fashion blogger, so I can pretty much live anywhere. I see you take your fashion seriously. The best part is I got this outfit for free. So you get to look like $1 million without spending it. Yes! I might have to use that line in my blog. I won't even charge you for it. So generous of you. We really click. And I actually think to myself, she could be the one. Steve, you're not going to put this interview on YouTube or Zoom or anything like that, are you? No? Okay, good. I didn't think so, but I just wanted to be sure. Hi, I'm Gabby. Yo, I'm Matt. I hope you get what you're looking for from talking to us, bro. Do you want to know how we met? We met on Craigslist. I posted an ad, and the basic gist of it was, I really don't think I'm going to find my life partner on Craigslist, but I'd love to find someone to date and have fun with, basically. It was very honest and a little bit sexual and like so funny. It totally made me laugh out loud. So we met, and he was so unlike who I thought my Bashir was, like totally not my type. I obviously thought he was cute, but I was really struck by the fact that, like, I always pictured myself with some New York or New Jersey, Jewish, like writer or something like that. Intellectual type, like kind of someone a lot like me, which I guess was kind of silly, but I kind of had on my list, like they had to subscribe to the New Yorker and be really well traveled, which is me. You know, I had this whole list in my head of things. New Jersey. I just knew he was going to be from New Jersey. I've always had crushes on guys from New Jersey. And she gets Baltimore. Yeah, and it's like, what do I know from Baltimore? I've been there once. I don't have any relationship with Baltimore. It just didn't fit my view. I assume you want us to ignore the camera and look at you? Okay. Hi, I'm Connor. Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm really glad you're interviewing us, Steve. Yeah, it'll help us remember why we ended up together. No, anyway, we met at a Halloween party and she was in full skeleton makeup, you know, like the whole Day of the Dead kind of thing. He was dressed as a voting booth. It was very cute. He had like a box with a little curtain and you could open it and go in there and like vote. There was a ballot with hanging chads. This was 2004. She wasn't that interested when we first met. She was looking for an African man who was into social justice. That's a joke. I think it's true. I'd be into an African man who's into social justice. No, it's just that previously I had dated some people like that and I sort of had an image of a different kind of person. He just seemed so familiar, like someone I would have grown up with. It's like the newlywed game. Put us in separate rooms and compare our answers. Why don't you go? I answered it? Okay. We met in the summer of 2001 in some small club in the Tenderloin, I think. Mark flirted with me and with my roommate, and fair enough, it was a fierce combat. Sandrine won between the two. You won, so. But it turned out that, you know, Mark had pockets and I didn't. So he had my stuff in his pockets and it ended up getting left there. So the next day we did some email exchanging and then we met up and took a walk and the rest is history. And then there's our names. Chinua means blossom. I'm Steve. Bud. On our third date in Oaxaca, we go for a long bike ride through the countryside. And in one village, we spot a small brass band walking in the street. I race ahead. Hey, Chinua, check it out. This guy told me the band was sent by the groom to honor his bride. How lovely. And that's the first time we kiss. We stop for lunch at a roadside stand, order chicken mole, snack on chapulines, fried grasshoppers, and do shots of mezcal. This is so much fun. To Oaxaca and to you. To Oaxaca and to you. Chinua, I can't believe I'm going to ask you this, but could you see us spending our lives together? Yes! It's crazy, isn't it? But I can. And she really runs with it. She tells me that even though her parents live in the States, we'd have to go to Kenya for the wedding ceremony. And get this, I'd have to give their village a cow and a couple of goats. Can you believe that? It's like something out of a fairy tale. Bridget had a motorcycle, and it wasn't running. And somebody told her to go get spark plugs. So she comes into the shop, and I remembered, that's the girl I'm supposed to be flirting with. So I decided to proceed with the flirtation a little bit, I guess. So I rang her up for the spark plugs, but I rang her up under my name for the discount. Took a little highlighter, highlighted my phone number, gave her the receipt, didn't say anything. Let fate do its thing. Hopefully she'll notice it. Luckily, she did. Well, I was a little like, I wonder if that guy gave me a discount, 'cause he probably should have. He was gonna be, flirting with me like that. Well, the spark plugs didn't do the trick. So I gave Rick a call just to come help me fix my bike. But he showed up at my door with his hair down and did this hair flip thing, and then couldn't fix my bike. I think he came to look at the bike twice, and the second time we ended up going out for drinks. I couldn't fix it all in one day. It's still broken, actually. Just in case, it's still broken. Well, in the email exchange, Wayne said, when can we talk on the phone? And I said, I'm having a day of silence today, and I really don't want to break that. Can we talk tomorrow? And he said, tomorrow I'm going into a 3-day silent retreat, so let's talk on Monday. But what actually happened was that evening, as I was going to bed, I had this strong sense of his presence in my room. And I hadn't seen this man for 30 years. And we can't manifest anything that isn't already contained within our field. And I realized my experience of Wayne being in my room was really about the understanding that he was already within my context. Do you mind if one of my cats is in the shop? Okay, good. So I invited her up for a visit, and there was Claudia. And I went, this is really cool. And when we got home late that night, I said, well, what are the sleeping arrangements? And she said, well, what are my choices? And I said, well, you can sleep in the guest room, or you can, share my bedroom. And she said, I'll start in the guest room. But about 36 hours later, on Sunday morning, I shared with Claudia in very close quarters that I wanted to share my life with her. And I was a little like, well, I'll have to think about that. I don't know. Not quite there yet. Not quite there yet. Chinoa, are you ready to head out? Just a sec. Why are you putting on makeup? We're just going out for tacos, and I'm starving. I want to look my best for you. You're going to stop traffic. Did you sense my impatience? That note of criticism? I better watch that. I mean, Chinoa is like everything I'm looking for. And it's not that I have a list. I don't. And no, I know people say you should make a list of what you're looking for, and then the universe will provide. Well, I kind of think the universe should know what I want. I shouldn't have to tell it. Anyway, there's so much about Chinoa that would be on my list if I had one. I love her exuberance, and that's despite having been through a lot. I mean, her dad used to beat her up. And I love that when I tell her about things I've struggled with, like depression or my difficult, distant dad, she starts to cry. Steve, the best advice I can give you is take that list, that list in your head of all the qualities you're looking for in your future partner, throw it away, burn that shit. Because no, I know some people still follow a list and it works for them, but it's like, for me, this is what works. Take that list and throw it away, because this person totally defies all the expectations that I wanted. I mean, Baltimore? And I never would have pictured myself with, the fact that he's in software. And of course, you want to find someone who makes you laugh and treats you well and, doesn't kill your pets. But things like reads the New Yorker and is well-traveled, those are silly little things. Take that list and throw it away. That's all, folks. An excerpt, the first 12 minutes of what they said about love.
Oh, that was awesome. I've teched that show many times and I love watching it.
Thank you for teching it all those times.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so I think it's time to open it up for a quick Q&A. Stephanie, do you have anything to say before the Q&A?
No, it's just great. Thank you so much, Alexa, for choosing those people. And thank you for all of you for being here, and hope you come into Zoom every night at 7:30 and see what else we're doing. And Alexa, I will leave it now to you. Thank you. And stay healthy, everybody.
Okay. So let's open it up. Does anybody have any questions to ask the performers? Ask Stephanie.
Keep in mind that everybody's on mute, so please either turn your camera on and wave so we could see you, or make a quick comment in the chat section and we'll pass that along. We have a question from Catherine Lewis. Catherine, give me just a brief moment and I will unmute you. And thank you for volunteering. There we go. Catherine, what's your question?
I just wanted to ask Skip. I've known Skip for years. I haven't seen him in years. I just wondered, the piece was hilarious and fantastic, and your delivery, as always, was great. I'm just curious what you are doing with it. I mean, you don't have to do anything with it, but is this a piece that you're working on and adding to, or is this a piece that's part of a bigger one, or I'm just curious about it?
I did the Marsh 25 years ago. It took me 25 years to get the courage to come back. So I'm always in my mind, I'm always writing, I'm always creating. But I was just thinking after this, like, I just need to stick to writing. I get so nervous when I do the performance stuff, but I just continue. I have my t-shirt outlet. I have all these outlets, and that's why I said it's a perpetual work in progress, because I don't know where I'm going with it. I did it at the Monday Night Marsh a year ago, which was just great to come back. And so, yeah, I don't know. I just love funny, as you know, and I make notes and write stuff down, and every 25 years I share it with other people.
Yeah. Well, I'm grateful that you have, and that you don't just keep it as writing, because you naturally are hilarious. Whatever you do in your head afterwards. But I mean, it's just, from start to finish, and your
I got a
time.
whole section.
And you know what? And who the hell cares? It doesn't matter. It's just so fantastic. And thank you. It really does something for me when you get up. That's why I tuned in.
Thank you so much.
So don't you dare stop.
Nice to see you. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Ah.
Do we have time for one more question, moderator?
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anybody else? Chat it in or wave hello.
Thank you, Alexa,
Oh, of course.
for all your hard work, and very confusing getting all this together so quickly.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for all three of you guys for performing on such short notice.
Okay, I think that's all the questions that we have.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let's keep the support going. Watch. We've got new shows every week. We've also got Marsh shows every day of the week as well. So, and MYT at 4 p.m. So thank you guys so much and hope to see you next week.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.